Hello, sensuals. I want to address a very difficult subject today. It came from one of the ladies in the women's publication community that I'm already writing a column on sexual and erotic development. This question, at first I was not sure whether it was a test or not, but I decided to take it as it is, at face value, a legitimate question. And it goes like this. How do I save from breaking up a toxic relationship? The reason I thought it was a test was because obviously who wants to keep a toxic relationship? I wasn't sure if somebody was testing me out or not, but in case somebody is going through that and they are in love head over heels with someone who's being toxic to them, then I hope this helps. So first I want to define what toxic relationship actually means. Now there's a much more in-depth definition if you're going to a psychologist or a therapist, but in this case I will try to keep it as mainstream and as generally understandable as possible. First of all, a toxic relationship is understood as a relationship in which one partner is focused on asking and getting attention, affection, care, energy, a lot of things from their partner without giving back. Now, at the beginning, a person like this can seem very attractive. It's somebody who's sharing their life experiences with you, their plans, what goes right, what goes wrong in their life, and you can take this for somebody who's very open to you or somebody who trusts you with these details. And it can be very flattering to know these things about somebody. We all have these. And intimacy, in one understanding, yes, it does mean that you get to share what is going on in your life with your partner. However, as time progresses, the relationship can get more and more into this dynamic where this person shares and asks of you and takes in a lot of energy from you without giving back. And the person in this relationship who's identified in a way as a victim can somehow end up low on energy, with a low self-esteem and their self-image being also very badly affected. They can think that their problems are not as important as their partners and they shouldn't bother their partners with whatever goes on into their lives. They can feel that they become important and that they mean something only when they're helping their partner, when they're fulfilling his needs, his desires, and that's it. Or their emotions can get very much repressed because these people, the victims again, can end up thinking that, well, I shouldn't get angry. I should not get upset. I should not ask so much of this person because I love them so much and I want to make them happy. That is the first visible sign that the relationship is toxic. Your needs are not being met, the person who's asking this question, for instance, but your partner's needs are always met. You're always giving to them. You're always investing time, energy, affection, to the point where you're neglecting yourself and your identity, your plans, your life. The mechanisms through which a toxic partner, in this case an aggressor also, will maintain his benefits are manipulating, reproaching, going into fits, crying fits, shouting fits. They go into threats. They go into aggressive behavior. They can go into devaluating their partners, so making their partners feel like they're not worth it. And they always have the tendency to control things. This is the way they keep their position as toxic or aggressor. Now, on the long run, they're obviously unavailable emotionally to their partner, but they request full emotional availability from their partners. You, as the intoxicated partner or the victim in the relationship, may find that whenever you try to share with your partner the successes that you have, or the beautiful experiences that you have, the emotions of joy and satisfaction. So when you try to uplift the vibe between you, he can or she can reproach you things. He can bring arguments to dismantle your positive emotions and your positive general well-being, simply because he's not used to that and he doesn't want anything to ruin his feng shui, which is not a good one anyway. On the long run, you can realize that you become sort of this emotional trash bin where your partner will throw out any residual emotions or any emotions that he or she can't manage well, and they need to take them somewhere. They can't handle them. And this, obviously, is what intoxicates not just the relationship, but the person who's the victim in this case, who's only trying to be there for their partner. In terms of intimacy, obviously, the same kind of behavior that you have just in the place where you're staying together, you're spending time together, it can happen in intimacy. Your needs may not be fulfilled emotionally, sexually. There's not enough attention for you. There's not enough care. You don't have your own space where you can develop and where you can manifest. So that's why at the beginning I was saying that I wasn't sure if somebody was testing me or not with this question, because the normal reaction here and the normal question that somebody has here is, why would you want to save a relationship like this? Why would anybody in their balanced emotional intimacy want something like this? Nobody would. Now, there's another thing that is also valid, and it's not going to be at all pleasing to hear. Relationships, even toxic and bad relationships, exist because people need them. What I mean by this is that there are people who only know how to give affection or receive affection in this way. So there are people who only know how to aggress other people, make them small, belittle them, make them feel insignificant. And there are people who only know how to be in a relationship where somebody belittles them, where somebody reproaches them, aggresses them, where somebody does that to them. That's why toxic relationships exist. Now, they exist for a reason. These people need to outgrow this kind of behavior and this kind of relationship pattern. And until they outgrow this, yes, they will manifest and they will be attracted to and they will stay into toxic relationships. And they will even try to save them. If the question wasn't a test, then it's a genuine question and it's from somebody who only thinks that this is possible. And that's why this person, woman in this case, is trying to save it. The healthier and the much more constructive reality is that you can have relationships in a totally different way, where you have all your needs met without having the toxic atmosphere there. But you need to understand this not just mentally, you need to understand this with your whole being. You need to have faith that you can uplift your emotional well-being so much then that you won't feel the need to be in this relationship. You won't feel the fear of walking away from there, and you will never attract people like this again. But until you do that, you're probably going to repeat this pattern, and it's not a good one. It depletes your hormones, your body, it depletes your entire energy, your intellectual energy, emotional energy, everything. It wears you out eventually if you keep staying in this kind of relationship for a long run. And obviously your intimate life, emotional and sexual life, is going to go down the drain with it. So I don't think you can save a toxic relationship, because I'm not in that place. And I could never advise you to save that. And no therapist would advise you either. And I don't know who would. I don't think your parents or your friends would ever encourage you that. It doesn't take a scientist or it doesn't take a specialist to tell you that toxic relationships, yeah, they shouldn't exist. And you need other kinds of interaction. I know it's not easy to hear, unless this is a test for me. But I hope that eventually something or someone will get you out of there. My advice would be to go to a therapist, in this case, not a coach. So what I can offer is not therapy. This is coaching and it's different. And in your situation, just take this answer from me. Toxic relationships are not worth saving unless you still need them. So if you don't need them, and I'm guessing that the question is somehow a red flag for you and doubting something there, go to a therapist. There are relationship therapists, there are psychotherapists, there are therapists specialized in cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's not a shame to go through that. And in fact, this is not something that I hide. Before I began working in this field, I also had a breakdown in a similar way, and I went to a therapist. For 5 sessions, I didn't need that much more, but this person helped me, put me on the right track, and not only did I fulfill everything that I set out to do in those 5 sessions, I outran them somehow because I started working in this field. It was never the plan anyway. And it's my desire to help as many women as possible, and men, to have more fulfilled lives. So it's a long talk, but on the short run, or just to put it simply, no, don't save that relationship, save yourself. Get yourself a new relationship or get yourself into therapy first, and get yourself a happier life, because you don't need that. So if this question was a test, okay, I took it and I hope I answered I passed your test. And if it was a genuine question where you needed help, I hope that you get help, and I hope this answer helps you as much as possible. And I hope that you get a healthier and happier relationship and life as well. So until next time, I hope that you have a healthy, happy, and fulfilling intimate life.